It might truly be last man standing the way some of these championship drivers have had days unfold at the Monster Mile. But for the two guys who came into the race tied for the point lead, they just about came off pit road tied for the race lead.
Man, I tell you what, they were side by side coming out of pit road for the first time all day long now. They're side by side, and 48 car Jimmy Johnson qualified 20th. Carl Edwards was 22nd. Now they're side by side, Brad, finally.
Yeah, we're going to get to see these guys duke it out. We got the two strongest hot rods, we believe, up front with old Biff laying back there in the cut. We're getting ready to go heat racing for 100 laps and see who the king of the hill is, baby.
Equal tires, equal fuel for the front three. And I tell you what, Alan, it's going to be a shootout right now. Now we can finally see who is the strongest cat out there.
Hey, the interesting thing for probably about, what, the last 45 minutes to an hour, we've been sitting here talking about strategy and what different teams were thinking while they were on their different schedules and that kind of thing. Now the caution, which by the way was for debris in turn 3, which we did see the safety truck go out and pick up. Now this caution has brought that all back together, and now we talk about straight up racing.
Yeah, you're exactly right. We got a little over 100 laps to go. It's been a long day here at Dover. Now we're getting ready to get down to it. Go to the fridge, get your cold drink, get you a pack of nabs, because the racing is getting ready to just now get started.
Brad, I tell you what, that was some scary strategy at the 48 car. Jimmy Johnson pulled earlier, you know, staying out, getting himself lapped down, out of sequence, and finally this thing shook itself out. Chad Knaus looks pretty smart now.
Dale Jarrett called it. He said it could be a long green flag run, and I'll be darned if we didn't have a nice, long green flag run. It's all played out, though, and worked right into the hands of the 48 crew.
That was my point. Might have been scary strategy. It worked. Doc, he's got the best track position he could have right now, Jimmy Johnson does.
He does indeed. And remember, they came in here tied in the point standings. Carl Edwards, for the first time in his career, atop the standings, actually tied with Jimmy Johnson. And right now, Carl is back by 15 points. Greg Biffle right there, and you see where they're restarting from. How about that? First, second, and third in the points, starting first, second, and third. And boy, I tell you, it's been that kind of day. The monster has been mean. And who is going to be the last driver running, much less the last man standing? Let's listen into Jimmy's radio.
Make sure you get something to drink. Look at everything in there, make sure everything's feeling good. Get a piece of candy there. Got just over 100 laps to go still. All's good in here. Back up one battery.
Just want to make sure the driver's good and fresh and ready to go here for this restart.
Yeah, this is going to be fun. We got 100 laps to go. And let's give a call out to a couple of guys that hung on to the lead lap there. A.J. Allmendinger, Michael Waltrip were hanging on there. Juan Pablo Montoya, Bobby Labonte got the free pass there. These guys, that's a long green flag run. These guys were able to stay on the lead lap.
17 cars on the lead lap. Pace truck getting ready to pull away. So why don't we listen in to the spotters as we go full throttle.
Pace truck's going. All right, pace car down. You got it. Green flag. Still there inside. Still there. Still there barely. Inside. Clear, clear. Clear. Too wide behind you. Good job. Still there. Clear low. Clear. Clear. Clear by one. Inside corner. Clear all around, clear all around. Go.
Jimmy Johnson right in front of Carl Edwards, and here goes Biffle on the high side of both of them.
Here we go. We're clearing all this lap traffic, and they're almost 3 wide coming off turn 2.
Oh, yeah. All right, Andy.
I picked Biffle on that restart. Yeah. I'm telling you, he's been sitting around here riding around looking at his watch. It's not time to go, and I think he's looked at it and said it might be time.
Yeah, he said that car was bad fast in the countdown show. Carl Edwards got a fast car, too.
Kenson's back there saying, don't forget about me, boys.
And remember, Rusty Wallace said, finally, these guys all are on an even playing field. 4 tires, fresh tires, and get what you can get.
Yeah, Jimmy Johnson sitting there saying, these Roush cars are ganged up on me here. What am I going to do?
Speaking of ganging up, look here.
They're everywhere. Inside, outside, and in my mirror.
3 wide.
Oh, wow. Biffle takes the lead.
I told you, you've been watching. He's been looking at that wristwatch.
That's good stuff there.
It's time to go.
There have been 9 leaders, 12 different lead changes, and right now Matt Kenseth has led the most laps.
It doesn't get any better than that, guys.
I tell you what, Biffle, we've known how much talent he had, but he's become a little bit of a fox here, laying back on these guys. You heard him say last week that he held back a little bit. Now he's waited to the last 100 laps and going to set sail, it looks like.
He's going to get that horse's head right here. He's going on, strolling off that corner.
Mark Martin deciding, I want to get up there and play in this party. Yeah, a week ago, Greg Biffle waited till 12 laps to go to make that move and made that pass look easy.
I think it's just like Rusty Wallace said, though. He needs to make that move when the tires are good. If he waits too long to do that, then you really can't do that. These tires they lose so much grip, and I think that's a great call by Rusty because that's the way you do it.
More on Mark Martin from Jamie.
Well, Tony Gibson, his crew chief, told me this morning, hey, we're going to take what we can get, a little bit of give and take here the first 300 laps, but those last 100 guys, it's going for broke. We're going to adjust on it, and that last pit stop, they did make an air pressure adjustment. Mark said that car feels good. It's hammered down now, guys. We're going to really see what this 8 car's made of.
Yeah, he's going to have to keep the hammer down, I can tell you that, and he can do that, there's no doubt. Andy, any chance you can run the tires off of this thing, though, right now?
Yeah, you can. You know, these guys still have to make another stop, so they'll be able to get some right-side tires, but they could run them off here if they run them too hard.
Here's our pole sitter, Jeff Gordon, now being shown in the 6th position behind Martin and in front of Kevin Harvick.
Yeah, Harvick there once again, up into the 7th spot now. Just keeping it steady. Both these guys have good race cars, but it'll be interesting to see. They're a little ways back from our first 5. It'd take something for them to get up there. Shannon.
Well, Kevin Harvick really has been battling this whole race. Started all the way in the back of the field. On that last pit stop, they finally made some adjustments on that car. They went down on the track bar. He said the rear end was sliding a little bit. But guys, that car was hooked up all race. This was only the 2nd adjustment that they had made on that 29 car.
You heard his comments about being the sleeper, being the ultimate underdog. Well, he came into the day, as you saw, 10th in the points. He could leave here 5th or maybe even better.
You know, we did talk about him before the Loudon race, that as consistent as this race team has been, that they could go into this and just have a lot of top 10s, and if they could group some top 5s in there, they could possibly be right there when we get to Homestead. It's like he's got his car a lot better right now. It watched Harvick some, and he seemed like he was struggling a little bit in the center of the corner at times, but it looks like that car's a lot better through the center of the corner and getting off. David Rudeman.
He's been solid all day long. He's right there in the top 10, just still digging along. He's had some good races here in a row.
Yeah, here's David Rudeman going by in the 44 car. And you mentioned he'd been 5th, 6th, 7th, right now being shown in 8th position.
Yeah, right behind him is Clint Boyer, who's in 9th, but that next car you see back there is the 88, and he is not on the lead lap. Dale Earnhardt Jr. struggled today. He's 2 laps down in 24th. Jamie?
What a frustrating day, DJ. They started 10th. They were fastest yesterday in the first practice. They thought they had a pretty decent car. Tony Uri Jr. told me, oh, we're probably 10th to 15th. Has not been the case. He has been extremely loose. Now, every pit stop, they've only made air pressure adjustments. And remember, he spun out on lap 145. Then he missed his pit box. That got him back a lap. And so they've been trying to play catch-up the entire time, but still loose. DJ, what do you think about only making air pressure adjustments for such severe loose conditions, Rusty?
Jamie, I tell you what, the right rear quarter panel on the 88 cars, the guys up in the booth well knows, very, very critical on these new car tomorrows for NASCAR. If you see them going down the straightaway at most tracks, they're tracking sideways. That's putting a lot of downforce into the right side of these cars. Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s right rear quarter panel's got a lot of damage, so he doesn't have the downforce he needs to have. That's the reason he's off the pace right now. In fact, you see Kurt Busch's car earlier. He's got the same problem, a missing right rear quarter panel. And GJ and Andy, that is really going to kill his downforce and kill his speed.
It kills that side force that they need too, Rusty. You know, these cars really rely on that.
Yeah, we talk about how tough these cars are, and you can see Kurt Busch there right there, who got in an accident on just the first lap of the race, not of his making, but it makes it difficult. The cars are durable, very durable, but they're not able to do the things that they need to do. He's getting the black flag here because some parts are flying off of this. When we were on Dale Jr. just a minute ago, you could see something, but it looked like tape that flew off in front of him. So he's going to have to make a trip to pit road to keep some of that stuff from coming out here and making another caution flag for us. To see Michael Waltrip go by. Michael has moved up into the 12th spot. Good run for him today.
The 77 car also being black flagged. Another one of the Penske cars for some sheet metal flapping, as well as the 2 car. So they're trying to get the 2 car on the pit road and be able to pull some of that away.
That's what's caused a lot of these debris cautions, or these cars with all this damage. And so NASCAR doesn't want any more of those. They want to try to get these cars off the track.
Greg Biffle had pulled away, but now looks like the 99 may be reeling him in just a bit. Dave?
And Greg just reported on the radio that he thinks he might have a flat. I have not known Biffle to, play with his crew that way late in the race like this, and the 99 does appear to be closing, so we'll keep an eye on the leader reporting some type of trouble from his car.
Yeah, almost 2/10 quicker that time by was Edwards moving in now. He had, as Biffle had just passed him and pulled away by like 15 car lengths, and now Edwards is coming in a hurry.
That might be what you said, Dale. Could you run the tires off of him? You can overheat that right rear, and he can think he's got a flat tire. It looks like the lap times are pretty good. I don't think it's flat, but he may have overheated that right rear.
Yeah, he very well could have. We see Mark Martin taking over the 3rd spot. He had passed Jimmy Johnson. Now he's passed Matt Kenseth, moved into the 3rd spot. But you're exactly right, Andy. I was concerned about that, especially getting on that high side. When you get on that high side, especially early, you really have to lean on that right rear tire, and you have to be careful not to use it up. This is a better tire, they said, but you have to be extremely careful. We've seen some cars out here today wearing that right rear tire out.
He's balanced out the lap times. Last time by, they were virtually identical on lap speed. The 99 car, Carl Edwards, and 16 of Greg Biffle. So I think he's going to be okay.
Yeah, their lap times are quite a bit faster than anybody else out there right now. And even though Jimmy Johnson is falling back, I wouldn't be too concerned with him yet. He could just be sitting there knowing that he needs to take care of his equipment. He's not that far behind these guys.
Greg Biffle had been waiting a long time to get back to victory lane. In fact, he entered New Hampshire a week ago with a 33-race winless streak. What would happen? He would lead 3 times for 58 laps to go to victory lane. You're watching ESPN on ABC.